So I'm just going to show you today how I'm kind of hacking my trash system. So right now I have these two bins, a two bin pull out bin system. But recently our community now, which is great, they now have 4 separate sections in the bins that we put outside. So there's one which is the same, just kind of regular rubbish. And then before we just had a second bin for recycling, but now we have, we still have the one bin for rubbish, which is smaller now, what they've given us, because we have 3 other bins. One for paper, second one for plastics, and then third little bin they've given us is actually for compost and food scraps. So what this means is that now my 2 bin system doesn't really work. I actually needed a 3 bin system, and when I went online, or Home Depot and Lowe's, and had a look there, close to about $300 to get a 3 bin system, and I didn't want to spend that much money again because I spent about $150 on this system. So what I did to kind of hack my way was, in this system they had basically, between the 2 bins, they have these little kind of these little things that were here. I don't know what they're called, but it would kind of keep the bins in place. So as you can see before, when I had the bins there, they were kind of moving a little bit, and that's because I cut this out. And it was a little hard because I'm sure there's like a better way to, but this is all I had, and I just had to kind of use as what little force I had, and just kind of cut both of these off. So it took quite a while and it was pretty exhausting, but I'm sure there's like some fancy or automatic thing, that machine you can use that could cut it in like a second. But anyway, so I cut these off, and then I just Googled some other bins that would fit here. So basically I measured this area, and I was careful when measuring just to make sure that you measure the base, because these bins do kind of curve. So don't just measure the top. Make sure that when you're measuring it, just take into account the size. And then I found 3 bins that would fit. So now what I have here is 1, 2, 3. So what this means is that I can just use the same old kind of frame, which I think is the bulk of the cost, because each of these bins were about $12, or I don't know, less than $15. So this total, like just getting the 3 bins was about $40, rather than spending nearly $200 and then trying to figure out how to take this off and reinstall it and paying someone to do it. So basically I spent about $40, and now I have a really nice 3 bin system. And it may not be as perfect because, as you can see, there aren't, I'm guessing that if I would have bought the 3 frames, there would have been little things here to keep this in place. So it won't be perfect, but seeing as I only spent about $40, and it looks nice, because what my husband's great idea was just kind of keeping these 2 bins, and then just having like a Trader Joe's bag lying around to throw out paper recyclable in the kitchen. And I don't think so. I think that's kind of messy. So I like, I kind of like a very minimalist approach. I don't like too many things cluttered, and our house is not super big. It's a pretty kind of on the smaller side. So I do try and have things off the floor as much as possible. So I really like this because basically you just pull it in. Push it in, and so the bins are there, and I have my little food compost bin already in there, and that's it. Thanks, bye.